This is Entertainment After Dark. Yes, I know it's not dark yet. With BowTie, and instead of Boston C, I got Danny P as a guest host.
It's me, it's Danny P.
And our special guest, Randall Fanning. He is, we are in
Lynchburg, Tennessee.
We're right here in his hometown where he was, I wouldn't say born, but he pretty much grew up here.
Lived here my entire life so far.
So far. Is your mic on? I thought it was on earlier. Yes, it's on.
Yes, it's on.
Okay, like I said, we don't have Boston here, so if anything sounds technically difficult, well, it's my fault today. But,
I'm glad you take the blame.
Right. We're not blaming it on Danny P.
Yeah, generally I get.
He's here to look. We got him over here to look pretty. Not as pretty as Boston, but you know. We'll stretch it to that.
Not in jeopardy, I guarantee you.
Hope they've got filters for their cameras.
Well, they could put their phone out in the garden right now. There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Might get a dual purpose. But we have a few topics that we want to talk about today. I wanted to take advantage of the fact that I was going to be in Tennessee today to get up with a couple of my buddies here and get some entertainment related stories. Not only music related, but hey, we got sports entertainment that we all have in common. That we'll talk a little bit about that too, and our involvement in the pro wrestling indie scene here in the Middle Tennessee area back in the 80s, 90s.
Yep.
I don't think that's about right. And I don't think you went back to the 70s, did you, Danny? I don't know.
No. I did early 80s.
You're right.
Early 80s. Yeah.
But when you started out in pro wrestling, what did you start out doing?
Oh, I started out as a referee and wound up a referee.
Right. I remember you as a referee, and in fact, the little bit of refereeing I did, you were the one that trained me, so it was all your fault if I messed up anything.
I'm sure you did just great, man. If I trained you, you did fine.
Right. But I quickly learned that, that refereeing is not all that it's cut out to be. That they got to be out there for every match sometimes, Danny. I mean, that's a bit much on some of these matches when they start going long.
We used to frequent a little place in Athens, Alabama, and Alvin Wallace's place. I don't know if you've been down there or not, but we frequented that place early on in our years, and it was just about every Saturday night. And Alvin had just a little small venue. It's really, really small, but he had some big names came through that thing. But he was a huge wrestling fan himself. And I mean, typically in indie events, you'll start at 8 and wind up at 10.
Mm-hmm.
Alvin didn't do that. Alvin started at 8 and he stayed. He kept the doors open until the spectators left. That is never 10, but if it was 11, 12, 1, 2 o'clock, whatever time it was, we stayed there and worked. And if it was one referee, you caught them all. If it was two, you caught half of those. So
right.
There's a lot of matches.
So guys just showed up, not even scheduled.
Exactly. They
get done somewhere else and come
some
down.
Of the guys, actually, seriously, some of the guys triple shot down there. Yeah, they would, maybe wrestle an opening match in one town, then move on to the next town, catch either semi-main or main, and then move from there on down to Athens and get there well before time for their match. So it was a crazy time, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't remember ever going down there. I've heard a lot about it,
but I never visited at least.
Well, it's a wild and crazy little town, I tell you.
Yeah, we definitely heard a lot about that. And of course, it's our special guest, Randall, here. For those of you who don't know, he, in addition to promoting wrestling with me, but his main claim to fame is that he worked for Jack Daniel's Distillery here for, 40 years?
46 years.
46 years, oh my goodness. More than I realized.
In the tourist business.
And so, he he was out there. For those of y'all that are Tennessee Squires, might know him as the Squire Daddy. He would he'd be over the. First, he was over the visitor center for a little while, or
Well, first I was over the toilets.
the toilet.
Or say that
Somebody's
dude
got
was
to. Somebody's got to do it. I
It's
mean,
a dirty
hey,
job.
That's right.
You gotta do it.
But I did advance up to being over the Squires and running the bottle shop at the distillery. And hence, that's the reason you see all these bottles that are behind us here, because I collected the bottles. So
yes, and there's some interesting stories about some of the bottles that we're going to get into a little bit later, kind of spread throughout the podcast in case for those of us who joined us late, they'll be able to catch some of the stories. But we're just going to kind of mix it in a little bit, because we're not necessarily just go all on one thing. We're just going to talk about one thing, then another, and go back to it. Just kind of like we normally would carry on the conversation.
We're a mixed up
Sounds
crew
good.
anyway.
Right. So, but we definitely got these bottles out here because, like I said, we're all kind of getting up there in years, and we have to have things to remind us what we're talking about from time to time. So
No, that's
we'll
the
just,
truth.
if we get lost, we'll just look at one of these bottles and we'll just go from there.
I remember now.
Right. We'll pick up the story.
Well, with Jack for years put on shows, sponsored different different people throughout the years. And I was lucky enough to meet a lot of those folks. And it's pretty interesting how some of them are. I think one of the nicest people I ever met was Billy G of ZZ Top.
Yeah, that was an awesome story. I was impressed when you told me about that one the first. Is that it? No, not
It's
even
this
that.
bottle
There
right
we go. Yeah. Put that a little closer to the camera there so they can
Turn it around to the side.
There you go.
see where he autographed it for you.
My wife was a huge Bones fan. I don't know if you ever watched the show Bones or not, but he had a recurring part on that show. And we saw him on Tuesday night on the show. And then Wednesday, I got a call saying, "Hey, we'd like for you to do a tasting for this fella." And I said, "Sure." Came in, and it was Billy G. And I tell you, you couldn't have asked for a nicer fella. I'm not one to get autographs and things, but that's the first bottle that I got autographed was by him. And I always tell everybody at the house that if the house caught a fire, I did my wife out, the cat out, and that bottle. And Danny said not in that order.
Oh, Danny's one.
Hey.
Danny
Now,
P. said
now we
that
are
one.
recording here, so
We got that on tape. So. But yeah, we are live right now on Facebook. So I wasn't able to share it. So anybody out there watching, if you could share it for us, we would appreciate it. Also, we are going to rerun this on Talent Zone, which is a channel that's available on Roku and Fire TV. And so some people might be watching on there at a later date. And we are going to go ahead and slide this out. Go ahead and talk about some, I guess we could save the big daddy for last probably, but we got, I did want to point out, since we're talking about wrestling, that there are a couple of wrestling bottles here. So if you want to just briefly kind of tell them.
A store in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, realized that people coming to the Squire room would want to get bottles signed, so they put mine and another fellow that worked at the Squire room, Goose. They put our big faces on pictures, and they had two wrestling ones. They did this one here, which shows me, my face, which was John Cena, getting ready to slam Randy Orton, who happened to be my favorite wrestler at the time.
Right.
That's kind of interesting. And then we got The Rock doing SmackDown on with my face on Rock on John Cena. These were just simply called the Randall collection because there were several of them.
Yeah, I just picked out the ones that had to do with wrestling.
Yeah, those are cool.
But yeah, over here I got another one over here. This one's a rockin' Randall, so they got him with the guitar.
That was actually the first bundle they did.
So yeah, he's rocking out on that one.
The store would buy by the barrel, which would be a full barrel that would be bottled up, and they'd put labels on it. And when they did that with the wrestling one and that first one there, they sold about 240 bottles within a 2-week time period. And that's a lot of bottles at one time.
And you went out there to the shop and autographed them on a certain day,
right? And or people bring them to us in the Squire room. Hopefully you're a Squire, you know what the Squire room is, but that was a good meeting place for people to bring them. I always liked the ones they did with Goose. Randy Baxter's his name. They called him Goose, but instead of putting his picture on the bottle, they put a duck.
His nickname's Goose, and they put a duck on there. Okay,
right. One of the young fellas that I met with Jack, and that's what I like to say is Jack, was a fellow by the name of Red Farron. I don't know if y'all have heard Red or not. He's a up and coming star.
I don't know. What does he say?
I'm sorry. I'm lost at this time to tell you what he sings. But he has one song that was pretty good. He just toured with some bigger names in Europe at that time, and he bought a barrel. He's a big Jack Daniels consumer, and yeah, he bought a barrel. And going back to wrestling, my favorite barrel selection was the one with the Undertaker. Let me tell you, that fella was big.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I remember when he came to Shelbyville that one night and was just in the back, kind of like everybody's looking at him.
I worked with him one time before he was the Undertaker. Mm-hmm. He was Mean Mark, and
for Memphis.
We were down at the Von Braun Civic Center in Huntsville, Alabama, and I was in the back, and right there where the guys would come in, and so all of a sudden there's this Fiero, and a Fiero is just a little bitty nothing car, just a real small car, pulled up, door open, and Mark, Undertaker, starts folding out of this thing. I said, how in the world did he get in it? Because I mean, I'm a little guy, but even I have a problem with a Fiero. But him, as big a fella as he was, he came out of that thing, and the lady driving, dropped him off and took off. I guess she parked the car, but that was amazing just watching him get out of that darn thing.
But he came in the Motlow house. We have 7-foot doorways. He bent down. He's afraid he's going to his head on the doorway. Yeah.
That was down in Florence, Alabama, at the Florence Lauderdale County Coliseum, and WCW was down there. Elegante. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah.
Huge fella. When he came into the arena area, he come through just a standard doorway, and he's like bends over and turns his shoulders a little sideways. That sucker was huge. I never seen no guy as big.
Now, Dan, did you ever been down to go in the doorway?
Not unless it's a access door in the crawl space.
So you said you started at your time in wrestling as a referee and kind of ended up that way, but I know at one point there was this little manager run around in a mask. I guess we're allowed to say that. I'm not trying to stooge you off here on a live thing here, but
here we go. Gimmick killer.
Right. He might come back, so if I don't need to go there, we can talk about something else.
Well, he was from Australia, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's
one of our stories really needs the introduction of that character in order for that story to be told.
Yeah. I have some really good friends that I've met through Jack Daniels over the years and one of the gentlemen was from Australia, and they introduced him to this young manager who was from Australia but speaks good English. Like Southern English, and yeah, it was. I think he was really taken aback with that, wasn't he?
Yeah. I tell you, that was embarrassing. Because I knew, to an authentic Australian, my accent was, quite obviously fake. But for the most part, I tried to do it well. But you introduced me to that guy, and then I'm Australian. Got the accent and all that. But he was actually Australian, and I was taken aback. But
yes,
for that, it was crazy.
He came back a year ago. He
Really?
was touring and came to see me.
Very nice guy. He sent a T-shirt from their fire department down there.
Yes,
a hat,
he's a fireman.
and I got a flag, an authentic flag, and I used that gimmick a lot. It was a lot of fun. It helped that character out quite a bit.
Yes. I brought quite a few people from different countries to see local wrestling.
Is that right?
Yeah. Have through the years and with the popularity of Jack Daniels and the popularity of them coming to Lynchburg to take the tour, I've met and befriended a lot of international guests.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
We never call them foreigners; we call them international guests.
International guests.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've got an international guest scheduled to come up next summer from England.
Oh, England,
So
yeah.
Cool.
That's going to be kind of fun. And actually, we met through wrestling, just a wrestling gimmick online, So
Okay.
it was pretty neat. But anyway, we're excited about seeing that one.
Mm-hmm.
We've got another an event coming up. July 4th is going to be an event that Danny has invited me to, and I'm trying to get some of my friends back there in North Carolina to, maybe we might have another special guest besides just me, but right now I know I'm coming, so we'll see if I can round anybody else up. But
Well, that's great, because we're going to have plenty of time. We're going to have a lot of fun on July 4th.
we'll be singing so are we singing for active military or retired military or just kind of?
It is the Flintville, Tennessee chapter of the American Legion.
Okay.
They're sponsoring a family day. It's not
For the whole family.
It's not really a fundraiser, but they just wanting to do something for the community. A great bunch of people. We helped them out last November, down at the fairgrounds. And
Yeah,
so
me and
we'll
Shane
be
came
doing-
down for that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And, if you can bring somebody down with you or over with you, however it's working, that'd be great. If not, then, we'll still have fun. But fellow Shane, I think it was, came with you last year. He did very good, good. And the people were pleased. So we're going to have some good music over there, and
Yeah, we've got another.
food and games and all kinds of stuff. Bouncy houses, face painting, and lots of different things going on that day.
Yeah, that's going to be a great event. I'm trying to see if I can't get got a daughter in Tennessee. I saw her last night. I'm trying to get her to come out there to that. It's kind of far, but I mean, she's got family in the area.
Yeah.
But it ought to be a cool event. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we got another one in November now, so don't forget that one.
Oh, I'm not going to forget about that. Back at the fairgrounds again.
Yeah.
We're getting ready for
Steve is
Christmas
a
early.
Tennessee traveler.
Yeah.
Well, I just, Randall says I don't need an excuse to come see him, but, it helps when you got to justify it with the wife. Well,
Yeah.
Danny needs me to sing down there in that concert,
Hey, if we do what we can.
Right.
Well, I mean, I just kind of throw this in there. We didn't talk about doing that, but anytime talk about Tennessee, you got to talk about Rocky Top.
Right. Me and Danny did sing that last November, but you weren't there.
I wasn't there.
and therefore we didn't go woo when we were
Well,
supposed
that's
to.
what you got to do.
We needed
Right
you
when
there
said
to.
it.
We needed you there
Yeah,
to
we
get
need
that
a woo
in there.
guy. Yeah.
That's right. And it wasn't Ric Flair who.
We,
Woo!
we did have dancers though, Shane Morton and Virginia.
Yeah.
And
Well,
they
that's
did.
good.
Did a great job.
yes, they
That's
were.
good.
So they were at least dancing for us. So we had. It was a fun time. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, we got November. Now we'll have a different sponsor this year, and it's promising to be a bigger and better. It's kind of like the state fair, gets bigger and better every year. This will be
awesome.
a group called Hayden's Hope,
Yeah.
and they're a nonprofit, and they do a lot of real good work for the community and everything. So we'll tell more about it as time gets closer. But
Yeah.
but it's gonna be fun. I guarantee you.
Definitely looking forward to that. That's November 15th, I think.
14th, 15th.
14th. Is it 14th?
14th, I think. But
Is it 14th?
anyway, we'll announce it in plenty of time, and then we'll announce it plenty of times,
Right.
so that people can be ready for it. But it's really going to be something. Our whole town is during a time when we have a traditional event. I guess it's a town-wide event called Host of Christmas Past,
Right.
and that's in Fayetteville, and the whole town decks out, and I mean we have all kinds of activities and vendors and food and just everything. The town is decorated for Christmas at that time. All the shops are open, and it's pretty cool. But last year, for the first time, we opened up the fairgrounds area, which is just a few blocks off of the town square, and it turned out so good. We're going to blow it up this year, so it's great.
Right.
The only other event I know that's in Fayetteville, I don't know for sure if you're playing yet, but you need to get in there and play it. That's the Slawburger.
Burger Festival. We just had that not long ago.
Right.
There's always something going on in Fayetteville. The Slawburger Festival. I mean, we got all kinds. We have a crawfish festival over there. All
Now,
kinds
remember
of.
we have a Crawfish Festival
Yeah, so
in Fayetteville.
the Slawburger Festival. For those of you who never had a Slawburger, you don't know what you're missing. Come on over to Fayetteville. There's a couple of the businesses that actually specialize. That's their claim to fame. Is the Slawburger, and it's a yellow slaw on a hamburger patty and a small bunch, kind of like
As long as it
a
don't
little
taste
bit
like
bigger
mustard.
than a Crystal, maybe, but meat and a slaw, and I mean people go crazy over that darn thing.
If you're like some people and don't like mustard,
No,
you would
don't
not
like
care
mustard.
for a Slawburger. I think originally it was at the pool rooms, wasn't it?
Yeah,
At the pool room
Honey's
slaw.
Pool Room. Honey's Pool Room is a iconic place. Started back in the 1920s.
I think their hamburger steaks are about the best.
Oh man, they got some good food over there. But it started out as a pool room. They had the counter where they sold the short order stuff, and then they had the pool shooters and all that jazz, and of course they had the beer on tap and bottles and all this jazz. Well, in transition and keeping up with times, the pool tables have moved out and food tables have moved in. And back in the day, it wasn't as family friendly as it is now. It was more of a guy's place to be, but it's a big family thing now going on over there, and they got some good food. And it's right there on the square.
Yeah, they have the fair. The fair in Fayetteville has been where we've seen some good old wrestling matches, and
That's exactly right. Yes.
and of course the Crash Up Derby is always
That's always good.
a favorite of mine out there.
There was one lady I remember for years. She was in there, and when she came to the arena, she was always driving a pink Cadillac. So that's a song they played at the time. Was a pink Cadillac.
Pink cat.
She had her perfect gimmick.
That was at least. Who is that you say?
Oh, I didn't know the lady. I just know that we was in the stands, and they start playing that Pink Cadillac and hear that Pink Cadillac came from the outside.
My cousin.
Oh, is it really?
Everybody over is my cousin, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, well, it's in Lynchburg, Fayetteville. You know, if
Pigg.
you aren't kin to us, you aren't from here.
That's right. She actually at least entered the first, I think it was the first, female demolition derby.
Yeah.
And won the darn thing. I believe it was on that Pink Cadillac, as a matter
It
of fact.
was, yeah, I think so, yeah. I didn't know her, I just knew the.
We could have been at the first. Might have been history in the making, but it was definitely exciting. You don't see a lot of that. I mean, I guess it's kind of like once you smash the car up, it's not like something you can go do every week.
It just depends on how well it's been smashed.
Right. It's kind of like these wrestlers' bodies out there. They get out there and they wrestle and smash their bodies up, and then they realize my career didn't go as long as I wanted it to.
Exactly.
I went a little bit too hard. We all know a lot of guys like that.
And back to whiskey, the bottle Steve just put up front here was done for somebody from there, from North Carolina,
Okay.
and that would be
Ta-da.
Somebody from North Carolina. We're talking about who? This one here?
we're talking about Eric Church.
Eric Church, yeah.
Yeah.
He is a Carolina boy, ain't
He is, and a Jack Daniel's drinker. He has his own brand now, but he's a Jack Daniel's drinker. It's really funny with the ladies in the bottling line. They always try to see who in the crowd is famous. And the last time he came to pick out a barrel, he wasn't wearing his sunglasses or his cap, and they didn't recognize him.
It gets to be iconic, I guess, part of his gimmick there.
Yes, exactly.
Drop that gimmick, they unrecognizable.
It's just like Mad Max. If he don't have that mask on and talk Australian, nobody recognizes
You
him.
never know.
He just blend right in.
I tell you, you were talking about that, just dropping these sunglasses now in relation to wrestling deal. I was a referee for a long, long time, and at one point we were doing TV tapings. Can't remember what company I was working with, but TV tapings. So what they was doing, they would, on any given night, we would tape enough matches to last for a couple of weeks on TV. So we wasn't just every week doing tape. So anyway, one night we were out there doing our thing, and I had my traditional striped referee shirt on. And as far as the crowd goes, there was nothing I could do that was right. I mean, they booed me from the time I walked out till the last match I did with that darn striped shirt on. Well, when we got ready to start the second a bit of
Series.
tapes, the series of tapes, I changed to a blue shirt and bow tie.
That's
When I
right.
came out, all I did was comb my hair, and I had hair then. But believe it or not,
It was the bow tie. That's what did it.
there you go.
That
That
was
was
the bow tie.
but I came out with that thing, and the crowd just goes crazy. Yay, they got a new referee.
They finally got rid of that old
From
bum.
there on, the rest of the night, I couldn't do nothing wrong. They carried me on the whole night. Darn the thing.
Well, I think that was always a fun thing as a fan going to the matches, was booing the referee. And when accidentally the wrestler occasionally hit the referee, it was exciting.
Oh yeah, even my dad got into that. Yeah, my dad was my biggest heckler. Yeah, I
We
love
talked
it.
about, me and Randall just was talking about Frank Morrell. He, the way he would referee, and especially there, I mean, he's still alive right now, but I'm just saying in his later times in the ring refereeing, he got to the point to where I'm not going to get all the way down there and count that finish. He stomp his foot. One. It's like,
Makes us count with his foot. Huh?
'cause,
He would.
the boys would try to rib him, because they try to go for all these false pins, and I'm not going to get up and down. He just count with his foot. It's like, I ain't falling for that no more. But yeah, I can remember us in the crowd be heckling him. Come on, Frank, you got to get down. You can't do that.
Speaking of him, a lot of the older wrestlers, when they got older, just couldn't do as much in the ring. They became officials or
Yeah,
referees.
that's right.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling, is one of the hardest businesses to get out of that I've ever seen. And I don't know, you get it in your blood. I mean, if you're a true wrestler, okay, and if you're meant to be in the business, you just can't bring yourself to get out of it. And I know today things are not the way they were back when I started and back in the early years. Everything's changed, and I'm sad for the old days. You know, I'm old school, and it makes me sad for the old days, but it's just hard to set that down. It's incredible.
But
It's like a drug.
You can still go around to some of these little independents here in Tennessee and
North
catch a
Carolina
glimpse.
too, yeah.
Catch a glimpse of that old style, still trying to hang on a little bit in the independence.
What always cut me was we had a wrestler that wrestled all over, but he wrestled for us in McMinnville, and he was 60-something years old and just as rough as a cop. His name was Gypsy Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was tougher than a pine nut.
Yeah,
for sure.
he was training a young man, and they was in a battle royal. And Gypsy's big thing was a chop.
Yeah.
And in the midst of that match, they tied up against each other, and he chopped the young man. And the young man fell to the floor and then jumped back up. Oh, it made Joe mad. Joe started chopping him, and seriously, he's as white as I was, but seriously, he had blood marks.
Yeah.
Where Joe actually, and we never saw that guy wrestle again.
Is that right?
Yeah, that was all he wanted, I reckon.
Yeah. Well, that happens sometimes, but it's nothing uncommon for somebody that's good with chops that can make blood trickle out of your chest. Those chops are, they're real.
Yeah. Oh, Flair was good at chops.
Yep.
And it made a good sound there. The better they did it, the
Oh, yeah, especially if they wasn't wearing a top of some sort. It's just the naked upper body that slapping and be sweating.
Some of them would try to wear a shirt if they were going to be wrestling Joe, and
That's true.
it wouldn't stay on him very long before he would manage to take that off first before he chopped him.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to waste his chop on a shirt.
Steve and I would go out to eat with Joe after matches in Cheval, and he told us one night, I thought it was kind of sad but appropriate. He said that he hoped that his last match, he hoped that he passed away in the ring. Because he was probably 65, was he 70, I think, maybe, before he passed on.
I'm not sure who.
I know
He could.
he had blood clots and lost one of his legs.
Right.
But yeah, there's an arena in Tullahoma named after Joe, called the Gypsy Joe Arena.
But I know another thing about Joe, when he would eat with us, he would get telling a lot of stories. It was pretty cool, and they'd be like, he got shot one time, and the bullet was still in there. Feel right there. You can feel the bullet. You know what?
He could move that bullet right around in his back. It was quite interesting.
He's probably one of the toughest people I've ever known.
Right. He's legit.
But he was also a good fella. He didn't know about this one guy that had stomach issues, and he just pretty wiped them out with him. But afterwards, because he was in the same dressing room as Joe was at that time, Joe apologized to him. He had all kinds of scars on the front of his belly and all, which Joe couldn't see because he was wearing a shirt. And Joe actually apologized for him being rough. And the guy said, "I loved it. I loved it." Yeah. He was well respected.
He sure was. Joe was a heck of a man.
He was.
Yeah.
We talked about ZZ Top earlier, and I should have brought that bottle out then.
Yeah, a good friend of mine and that worked for me here at J. Daniels, she thought I was a huge ZZ Top fan, and I am a pretty pretty big ZZ Top fan, but she was sent all the way to Texas and got me one of their own personal bottles. My allegiance always were with Jack Daniels, but I was proud to get that bottle.
Right.
Yeah.
But his allegiance is to Jack Daniels, so I don't need to leave it out there too long. We got to keep it. I don't think we talked about.
Those are the two wrestling ones.
Okay, we did talk
No,
about them.
that's Farron, yeah. And
Oh,
the
that's
wrestling
fair. We
ones.
talked about them already.
You don't get to the big guy now?
Well, I mean, I guess
Or
we
you
have.
want to close with the big guy?
We can go ahead and talk about the big guy. We got plenty of other topics we can talk about too. But I don't want to run out of time for the big guy here.
The biggest, one of the biggest fans of Jack Daniels in the 50s and on was a fellow by the name of Frank Sinatra. He actually performed with a bottle of Jack on stage with him, and in the middle of the concert, somehow miraculously a glass of 3 rocks would show up. He'd go open the bottle and pour him a drink, talk about the nectar of the gods, and how it really refreshed his voice. And then he would never buy his whiskey, because that was we never paid him anything to advertise Jack Daniels. Only thing we guaranteed him was wherever he was performing, we'd have Jack Daniels available for him, because in the 50s it wasn't everywhere, and so we'd always have a case of Jack Daniels there for him. A gentleman by the name of Angelo Casey was in charge of doing that. He was a one-armed Italian, one of the nicest men you ever meet, and he would make sure that Frank had, if it was in Podunk, Michigan, he'd have a case of Black Label sitting there for him. And when Mr. Sinatra passed away, he was buried with 3 interesting items. He was buried with a roll of dimes, because they always said he would, when his family would leave home, he'd give them a roll of dimes and say, "If you need me, call me." Now it'd be a cell phone.
Right.
A pack of Camels unfiltered, and he had a bottle of Jack Daniels in his coat pocket. Unfortunately, it was a small bottle of Jack Daniels. But yeah, he helped promote Jack years ago, and did it on his own. And Keith Richards with the Rolling Stones, he would have a bottle of Jack on his drum set or piano when he was performing also. So music and Jack have always gone together.
And so this was put out after his death, right?
So this was a bottle. I'm sorry, I got off that. The Jack Daniels put out, I believe it was 2012. I can be wrong on that. A special bottle called the Sinatra Century. So we did a special release bottle, put in a special case that had a locking mechanism to it, a bottle of Jack in it, of Sinatra in it. There was a special way we made Sinatra, a special barrel we used, and we did 100 barrels at 100 proof for his 100th birthday. And inside the case, there's a little, is it USB? I always get it messed up, that you plug into a computer.
Mm-hmm.
The USB, and it had a concert of Sinatra's that was never released. Right, his family provided that for us when we put this special bottle out.
And this, oddly enough, is the most valuable bottle in your collection.
Well, it is the most valuable full bottle in my collection. That's correct.
Oh, full bottle.
Yeah, it is. Well, it is. Am I supposed to tell the price of it?
Not necessarily, but the reason why it's so sought after
is because, number one, it's Sinatra's bottle, so Sinatra fans wanted it, Jack fans wanted it too, and just music fans wanted it in general. So it was. I had no idea. It sold for $500 at the bottle shop in Lynchburg when it came out. I was running the bottle shop at the time for Jack, and I had no idea how it would sell because we never sold a $500 bottle, and so we took orders for it. We put out we get 90 bottles every Friday, and we put 60 on the shelf to sell and leave 30 for people who had reserved a bottle. I'll never forget this one gentleman. I called him and said, "Hey, your bottle's in. Do you still want it?" He was from Columbus, Mississippi. He said, "No, it's Columbus, Ohio. Excuse me." He got off work that Friday, drove to Lynchburg. We opened up the next morning. He was standing right there wanting his bottle, and drove back to Columbus, Ohio right then. He was just a big Jack Daniels collector and Sinatra fan.
Wow.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, but again, my tie-in to BowTie with this broadcast is the music end of it, and that is that Jack Daniels was into music quite a bit. Did you ever see the lead guitarist for Van Halen? He had a Jack Daniels guitar that he did on his own. He's actually the one that had that one created for himself.
Well, now this little book right here,
It's a book of Jack Daniels.
Just tell the history.
Tie-in with Sinatra, yes.
I got you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was the nectar of the gods, of course.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
But yeah, that's definitely an awesome story that I wanted to get out there for a lot of our fans. I mean, a lot of my singers rely on Jack Daniels before they get up there and sing karaoke.
It makes the song sound so much better.
It's funny how much courage they can get from a little class.
Sure.
But
Exactly.
and not all of them that get the courage from the little class sing actually bad. Some of them actually can sing good.
Right.
They just need that extra little something.
Y'all can probably help me because, as you know, I'm not big on knowing stars' names. But who is it sings Jack Daniels' song with?
Shabuzi?
No, Shabuzi did. That's true. But who's the guy with the beard? He's a good singer. He did the best. Gosh, I'm losing it right now. He had the best national anthem at a Super Bowl ever.
You got me on that one.
I should.
I can't look
I'm
it up
sorry,
on my
I should-
phone or anything because my phone's broadcasting this
I
live
should
on
have known, but
Facebook.
any country music fan would know him.
But yeah,
Sorry.
there's a lot of singers over the years that have sang about Jack Daniels. Of course.
Tennessee whiskey. That's the way he started out. Smooth as Tennessee whiskey.
Right.
Do you know that song?
There's a few versions of it. So you're talking about the more recent version of it,
I'm talking
not the George Jones or David Allan Coe version. You were talking about the more up to date.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, that is highly sung at karaoke.
Oh, I bet so.
When I first started doing karaoke a few years back, that it was every night, and people would race to see who could get it in first.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So a lot of times at karaoke, you don't want to hear the same songs over and over. So they'll be like, somebody already did that. Pick another song.
I went to karaoke. Say it for me.
Karaoke, yeah.
Yeah, for in Fayetteville one night at a place called the Outback, but it wasn't the Outback like we know the Outback, but a fancy restaurant. It was in Fayetteville, and
So did Mad Max own that?
this was no, but this is about as redneck place as you could go. It was a
It's
super
lining
place,
up.
and I'll never forget. A friend of mine got up there and sang "Purple Rain."
Oh no.
It was interesting.
Yes, we have some people that can sing Purple Rain, and we got some that cannot sing Purple Rain,
Right.
but they sure do like to try.
Gotcha.
That's the main thing. They just love to try.
Right.
And like you said, whiskey or a little beer can always get your nerve up.
Get you lined up for that.
Get that courage going.
Mm-hmm.
Danny, also you promoted wrestling as well. A lot of these little towns. It's like I never heard of a lot of these towns until Danny Pigg ran wrestling there, and that would be my first
What was that
experience to these little towns that he would find.
Close to Blanche down there? What was the little town that you ran in?
Boone's Hill?
No. Dang it. It's one of the first time to actually go to one of your shows.
Yeah, I definitely remember Boone's Hill. That was always
Taft.
Taft, that's
there
exactly
you go.
right.
Yeah,
Taft.
that's right.
That little building, you'd pack that every week.
Man, yeah, that was a great. I still have the place is gone now, and it has been for quite a long time. But I still have people every now and again mention that to me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I really like Taft. It was a lot of fun.
people like Petersburg. You ran Petersburg before we ran it a little while after you.
And I love the building at Boone's Hill.
Yeah.
Everything wood. It was
man,
such
the
a nice
acoustics
building.
were crazy over it.
It was.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but
It's one of the things that I love about the wrestling in this area here are the fans. I mean, you just get some rabid fans. There was a lady, I don't know if I should mention her name or not. She's passed now, but the wrestlers called her Marge, like Marge Simpson, because her hair was all stacked up like Marge Simpson was, and she was I would say about 65, between 65 and 70.
yeah.
And we ran Boone's Hill one night, and there was a little cocky manager, got around her, and we told him, be careful now, because she actually had a sock full of nickels, and she didn't mind hitting them.
Yeah.
She didn't mind hitting them at all if you got close enough to her. And this young little manager got close to him, and she swung those nickels at him and missed him. He was fast enough to move, but she completely did a spiral. Completely went down the knees, and I'm thinking, oh my God, we're going to have to call the ambulance. She jumped up and chased him around the ring.
Yeah, she's mad now.
She was mad, that's right.
Oh yeah, she was a diehard fan.
She was feeling it the next day, I'm
Would
sure.
you
but
believe?
she didn't.
And you may know this already, but she actually rescheduled a surgery that she was supposed to have because it interfered with her wrestling.
Oh,
match.
there's this-
Sure it is.
I believe it.
I
believe it.
100% believe that as well.
There was a Mrs. Morton at that had a walker, and if you got close, a bad guy got close enough to that walker, she'd whack him with that walker too.
Yeah, Mad Max might have got whacked with that.
Oh boy,
And
that
then
man
I-
got whacked with just about everything. With Marge, one story, and I'll quit running my mouth. But
Please.
with Marge, she was such a fan. And her favorite place setting was right behind where I had to stand as a manager. I was outside the ring, and I had that particular corner I had to stand in. All right, but that was her thing, and she loved to badger me every chance she got, and I loved her doing it. But anyway, I was managing the Hickerson brothers at
I
one
didn't know
point.
it until.
And oh man, this was crazy. And we were doing a loser leave town deal.
With Cowboy Bill in Montana.
Yep, that's exactly right. And we had it figured out, that if things didn't go our way, we had a plan. So anyway, during the course of the match, I had chain as usual in my pocket, and I would pass it to Lee, and he would take it and he would pop Billy Montana.
Right.
Not enough to, put him down, but enough to make him madder than all get out.
Right.
Make him mess up. So anyway, whenever he would pop him, then he would kind of back up and kind of toss it back to the corner where I was at, and I would swipe it up and put it back in my pocket. The referee would never know it, you see.
Right.
Because once the referee sees it, you're done. So
Absolutely.
you can't let him see it. So anyway, we go through the night, and I passed it to him 3, 4, 5 times, during the course, and all of a sudden things just wasn't happening our way. So plan B. So I tossed Lee the chain, right? So after I tossed him the chain, I move out of position.
Oh, you
Lee-
said you was yelling to 2 girls over the side of it.
Yeah. and Lee comes in and chucks the chain back. Well, it's hard enough that it slides right off the ring and right in front of Marge.
Oh, my.
Dorothy, I think is her name. But anyway, she gets it and she tosses it to Billy Montana, the guy in the ring. You know? And then, of course, Lee had the referee busy at the time. And at the point where Billy Montana's got the chain, he's holding it up looking at it. You know? Well, Lee turns it around and he gets disqualified and he leaves town. So our goal was met.
I'll do the rest of it because Lee had been telling Billy that the fans would be the death of him, the end of him, you know, all that. And so Marge is over there when they disqualify Billy for that chain. Marge is over there. She's pretty crying. She's crying a lot. She's bawling. And the announcer, forget the announcer's name. He says, "Oh, Big Mike, who was official, says you got it wrong." Says she was trying to show you that chain and all that. And boy, she threw the security rope over her head. That's right. That's what I was doing. I wasn't trying to get her disqualified. Yeah. But fans made it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The fans are the reason why we did what we did.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
That was just it. They would do it all for the fans.
We did it in Petersburg one night, and it was during the Federal Fair. And my nephew came. He didn't come didn't ever come very often, but he came, and our security went to the fair. So I told him, I said, we don't really have a lot of any hard matches tonight,
Right.
so let's
Famous last words.
yeah, famous last words.
for
I said, could you be the security around the ring? And he said sure, and everything went good to the main event. The main event, Kubri's substituted for the medic, and of course Kubri is a pretty rough fella.
Yeah.
And he had blooded
Boo Brown?
Boo Brown, right?
Old hometown boy.
Yeah, another hometown boy, yeah. He blooded him up pretty bad, and his aunt's sitting up there in the bleachers with her two sons, and she looked over at him and says, "Are y'all gonna let him do that to your cousin?" And they hit the ring. Well, my nephew caught one of them before he got in the ring, but the other one got in the ring, and Kubri's just stomped the crap out of him.
Yeah.
It was pitiful. And I was videotaping, so
Yeah, you can't lose a good shot like that.
that's right. You
there you
didn't
go.
lose
You didn't want to run down there and get involved. You
That's
need to
right.
keep videoing.
So then Breeze gets up on the mic talking about rednecks and all that stuff. He had him going. He was up in a little stage area. So
Well, he was from New York.
that's right. Hell's Kitchen.
Kitchen. That's right.
And he, so that's one that my nephew had cornered. He starts toward the ring, toward the stage, and my nephew toes onto him. Well, about that time, the other one started to get up in there. So I jumped down off that stage and I grabbed him. He had one of those disposable or flyaway belts, and that thing flew up, cut me in my eyebrow. I was bleeding, and there was no ketchup in that shot. Let me tell you. There was no ketchup, and to this day, it looks like I got a devil horn coming out of my eyebrow because it's a little scar there holding it.
It's going to be a quiet night, in other words.
Yeah, it was
Just
a real
just
quiet
you
night.
said, it's going to be a quiet night.
But what I loved about that, of course, by promoting, is the next week, Boo's entire family showed up.
Right. So
Yeah.
Hey,
that was
it's-
good
it's
for
a
the
draw,
door.
man.
That
It's
is.
a draw,
That is.
that's for sure. But like, I managed Cool Breeze.
Right.
And I managed a whole lot of people over the course of my time. But at one point I was managing Cool Breeze. But anyway, we went to this venue. Somebody brought a thawed chicken. Yeah, we were up in the
I
ring.
know
you know.
what you're going to
This is
tell
going to be a
now.
And
good story, too.
This fan caught his back turned to him, and they chucked it into the ring, pow, and the chicken landed right on the back of his neck, and the wings and the legs goes around his neck, and it stuck. He grabs it and looks and see what it is, and throws it on the floor, and we stop it and then do all kinds of crazy stuff. It was the funniest thing.
There was some wrestlers that I don't care what came about, because honestly, truthfully, you never knew what was going to happen. You'd have security, but that don't mean people don't get violent. Cause
That's right.
And sure enough, you just got to be watching.
Yep.
And there's some wrestlers could go along with it. They could just improvise at the
That's right. That's the old school.
right.
You know, that's where that comes in at. Because back in the day, like I said, anything could happen.
That's exactly
And
right.
A lot of times it did.
That's true.
A lot of times it did, but I got it. We don't have time on this podcast to bring them all, but I did the wrestling gimmick.
Give me back my pro wrestling.
I mean, a long time. Hadn't been there yet.
Yeah.
But just a whole bunch of stories. It's funny as all get out. Most of them are, we'll maybe we get together sometime later on and share some stories.
We'll get some more of those stories out there.
Yeah.
That was the main thing about this podcast. We wanted to get a few of those stories out, and then like I said, these bottles. There's all these Jack Daniel's bottles all have these stories that tie with the entertainment industry, and like I said, for me personally, now that I'm doing karaoke, it's like most of the time the venues that I'm going to, Jack Daniel's is very prevalent in the venue, so it seemed like a very good tie-in for this podcast. But we are getting close on time, but I did want to give Danny an opportunity to let us know about some of his upcoming events. I know he's got like the whole year almost booked, so I don't need every one of them, but like some stuff that you got current coming up. We talked about a few already. But maybe you got some coming up like pretty close. Like,
well, Cindy and I are going somewhere just about every week. It's seldom a week passes that we're not at least in one venue. More times than not is anywhere from 1 to 4 or 5, I'd say, within a week's period. Been pretty busy. We were very blessed. We started this thing not having a clue, where it was going to take us, and still don't know.
right.
But
I remember just watching you on Facebook, just sing in front of the camera.
yeah,
And then it just kind of started snowballing from there.
It just kind of blossomed, and maybe this venue saw what we do, and then the next venue says, "Hey, look, can you come, do us?" But and now we've got people that call us and have us set up. Like we got one venue that says, "Okay, every third Wednesday, we want you to do 2 performances, do a back-to-back performance." And then another one that says, "Hey, look, we want you every third Thursday," and then we got 4 or 5 different companies that has us do, and more of those are in the North Alabama area, in the Huntsville and the surrounding areas. They're a lot of fun. Some companies that say, "Okay, we can't commit to every a certain week every week, but we're gonna call you regularly and ask find out your schedule."
That's
and
cool.
So we'll, even the ones that's not set, will call us pretty well at least once a month, if not more times than that.
Check
But,
in with you. And
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I always got your voice ready to go.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we practice for what that means often, and with as many times as we show up, and especially at the same venue, it's a big challenge to get enough material. So it's I'm not sure it's the same with you. You're always looking for new material.
You don't want to do the same show, and that's the thing where I do karaoke. I do have some singers that they are good at certain songs, and they will do those songs every week that they come. But sometimes being the host, I try to arrange the ones I know have those big hit songs like that they do. I try to arrange them and put them at a point in the show to where you know, maybe I've had a couple singers singing some slow stuff and got everybody kind of down. I'm like, oh wait, let me put my
Right.
guy here. I know he's going to bring the crowd back up and
Yeah,
get
there you
everybody
Hey.
back happy again. We're not trying to. I mean, karaoke's for everybody to sing, but we're not trying to depress the people that's in there. You know, we want to keep it a party type atmosphere and a fun show. And it's like it's hard when you're the only singer like you do, and you got to try to keep. If you're going in the same place, you don't
That's
want
right.
to go see the same
And
show
like
that
you
they just
said,
saw. You want to keep it fresh and
right,
new
exactly.
stuff.
And we'll do like when we arrange our music, you know, because when we go to a venue, we know we plan to sing within the time frame that we have, and we won't do like several slow songs at one time or all fast songs. You
Right.
run out of breath for all fast. But we will filter in what I call a rest song, you know,
Right.
something where you can kind of it's something easy to sing. You know,
Now,
something
then
like
there
that.
are there's people that like to slow dance with their partner, and that's
Yeah.
the perfect opportunity for them to get up there and do that. So, you know, it's not necessarily a negative just because you're putting a slow song in there. It has multiple benefits, like catching your breath and, you know.
But for those of y'all that's got to know Mr. Bryant or Mr. BowTie, excuse me, let me tell you, he's really changed over the years because he used to be bashful, and when we was running promotion, he would work the back, and I had to beat the people up front because he would meet with the people up front. So he has really changed his.
Quite a transition.
And I
Yes.
now he did get pushed up on the microphone to announce a few times, so I did do a little bit of that, you know, having to.
That's true,
speak
but
out there into the
that was
microphone.
have to.
Right, I didn't. I
And
mean,
we-
if we had somebody, I didn't just jump up there
Yeah.
and take the job. You know,
Yeah.
I let them get their little bit of couple dollars to
Sure.
stand up there and introduce everybody. There's some people would have paid us to get up there and do it. I mean, because you know, depending on you know, there's a lot of people
True.
that are excited to do that.
Well, I just wanted to throw that in there.
And I just
because
thought, yeah,
you really,
I haven't come out of my shell a
Yes,
lot, and
you
I really
have.
didn't. It might have been better for the actual wrestling promotion if I would have been as outgoing as I am now. Back then, we might have went a little further with it. Who knows?
you never know.
I think we ended when we were supposed to. Somebody really got to get in touch with me bad. Called during the podcast. Maybe they're trying to let me know that it's time for us to end. Hey, it is.
4 o'clock.
All right.
Time to get out of here.
Thank you,
Right.
Steve.
This has been Entertainment After Dark with BowTie and my co-host Danny P.
Hey.
And our special guest Randall Fanning. And hopefully we might get a part 2 out of this down the road.
If you're in Lynchburg,